everyone at Broward Health Medical Center. Behind you, as you could see, he's the Chief Regional Medical Officer there. He is very accomplished in everything he's done, starting at Broward College, going to UF, and then finally to Nova, becoming a physician from their School of Osteopathic Medicine. And without further ado, let's learn what he does in his day.
Well, Jill, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to my alumni. This is where it all got started. My day generally starts pretty early in the morning, between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I have 4 kids that I wake up at 6 and get ready for school. I usually spend about an hour with them doing that, and then I leave the house by 7. I'm at work somewhere around 7:30, and then my day is pretty jam-packed for a good 10 or 12 hours. I try to make it home by around 7, so I get to tuck the kids in and spend some time with my wife before eating dinner, and then doing more work on the computer, and I go to bed generally around midnight.
I see. And tell us, what is your role? What do you do in a day? What is your task that you do?
So Chief Medical Officer is a rather unique position. It's the highest ranking medical position in the hospital. It is in the C-suite. So 3 doors down is the Chief Executive Officer. Next door is the Chief Financial Officer. Chief Operating Officer and nursing officers are here in the administrative suite. My job entails mainly everything that deals with the physicians and the care that they provide. So quality, safety, risk management, epidemiology, infections, continuing medical education, graduate medical education, all of these things span the gamut under the umbrella at which I am at the top.
Wow. So we need to know how you got there. Why don't you start with where you went to high school and how you landed at Broward, which then propelled you to where you are today?
Yeah, very, very interesting story. So we moved. I did the first 2 years of high school in Miramar, and then my parents up and moved between the summer of my 10th and 11th grade. A horrible time to move for a guy in high school. All of those friends that you had in middle school and the first couple of years of high school, they're all gone, and now you got to start over for 2 years. So I went to Western High School for the last 2 years, and I graduated, thankfully, in the top 10% of my high school class. I didn't know during my senior year, I didn't know. I later found out that if you did graduate in the top 10%, you got a free tuition scholarship or full tuition scholarship to Broward College, then Broward Community College. And honestly, I wasn't super excited about that. All my friends were going off to the University of Florida, and there was a lot of urban myths about community college at the time. And I'm not that guy. You know, I kind of make the most of whatever the opportunity is at hand. And I remember my dad telling me vividly that I could work all day and go to school at night if I wanted to, but I'm the oldest of 4 kids that my parents had, so it was not possible for them to put me through school. So I went to Broward College. I said, well, that's a free ride. And at the University of Florida, I would have to pay. I did a lot of what I thought were prerequisites my first year at Broward College, only to find out I wanted to go to pharmacy school. So only to find out that all of those prerequisites that I did that first year were actually prerequisites to my prerequisites. So I had to complete that first year, and I spent another 2 years at Broward College. That really set the stage. I mean, I squeezed every ounce of opportunity I could out of that institution. Instead of having to pay for the University of Florida, I wound up being involved with Dr. Mary Jo Carl. Then it was Mary Jo Henderson. She was in charge of the Honors Institute. And it was a fantastic opportunity for me to really get involved and meet a ton of people that I still consider my friends to this day. And I got scholarships that were able to pay for my education in pharmacy school, 3 more years at the University of Florida. I worked for 3 years as a pharmacist, and then I went back to Nova, where I spent another 4 years getting my Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. And here now I sit as the Chief Medical Officer of the very institution that I was at last when I was a medical student.
So with all that experience under your belt, what was the best advice that you were ever given to get you to where you are today?
Well, I think the best advice was to believe in yourself, commit to it, achieve what you set your mind to. Limits really are self-imposed, and don't let people tell you that you can't do something. I generally, in my experience, the people that tell you that you can't do something are the people that either for whatever reason don't want you to succeed because they think that you can, and they're sort of jealous about it, or there are people that have tried to do something and perhaps have not committed as much as you have, so they failed, and they're trying to pass on that life lesson to you, and unfortunately that is the wrong lesson to pass on. I really believe that if you want something bad enough, then you have to be willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to get it, and if you're willing to go that far, then you will absolutely achieve it.
Wow, it must have been that way when you went from pharmacy and being a pharmacist to starting over and going to medical school, but certainly well worth it in the end here. So is there a favorite quote that you usually like to repeat?
Yeah, there's two that kind of go hand in hand with what I just said. One is never, never, never quit. And the other one is more of a Confucius quote, and it's our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And I think that those two quotes really form the underpinnings of how I got to where I am today.
That's great. That's great. That's real life. So name something that you're super excited about.
I'm super excited about the eventual return to a more normal life where we could travel and go on cruises and go to theme parks and all of those things again. But I'm excited for the future. The future has yet to be shaped, and we all hold the keys to being able to do that. So I'm most excited for what comes around the bend.
Has the last year been challenging, the most challenging of your career, dealing with all the things around the pandemic?
Without a doubt. If there's anything at my institution, anything that has to do with COVID, I'm involved with. And I can tell you it's like Groundhog Day. Every day is kind of another day. It's without the support of family and friends to help you unplug, even for the few minutes in between phone calls or Zoom meetings, it really would be next to impossible. It's just been it's an immensely trying time, and hopefully one that we won't have to live through another pandemic again in my lifetime.
Right. I assume you've seen some things that most of us have not in the last year. So very challenging and we're deeply grateful for you, and you've stepped up for all the Broward College employees. I know we have over 5,000 of us, and you've taken your time to give us, lectures and talks and Zoom meetings. How about something you're deeply grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful for the opportunity that I've been given. I mean, as trying a time as it is, I really believe that the real person comes out in a time of crisis. You're either paralyzed in inaction, or you rise to the occasion and you're able to lead or follow, whatever the case may be. And I consider myself incredibly fortunate. There must be some higher power that put me where I am today to do what I'm doing, and who believes that I have the capability to succeed in that. And I can only hope that I've been doing a fair job at trying to do it.
Yes, your leadership skills are definitely over the top. That is for sure. So do you have any heroes? Speaking of leadership skills, like who are your heroes that you admire?
Well, it's interesting that, you bring that up, because nowadays they talk about healthcare heroes, and I think the society uses the word heroes to mean a lot of different things and to different people. I don't particularly think of ourselves as heroes. I mean, we signed up for this. Nobody knew there would be a pandemic, but we come and we do the things that we're trained to do. But to me, I think the biggest heroes that I have are, that may sound a little cliche, but my parents are heroes. I mean, my dad, for his unwavering commitment to the family, and for leading by example and showing me what all that a dad could be. And he'll deny that, of course. And my mom, for her effusive praise and compassion and understanding, even in times of adversity. I think I draw strength through this pandemic from both of them. And then of course, I think anyone who's ever voluntarily put on a uniform to serve this country in military service, those are real heroes.
Yes, yes. Well, you're just simply amazing with all your attitude and all your accomplishments and staying in the healthcare field. Obviously, deep down, wanting to help others and do everything before yourself. And you do have a really wonderful family yourself with your own 4 children. So we're very appreciative. Is there anything else you want to say to someone that might be thinking about going to Broward College and eventually becoming a doctor? What would your thoughts be?
My advice would be the same advice that I learned over the years. You know, I didn't particularly have a lot of great mentors. I didn't even know what that was. No one in my family's in healthcare. I think what you need to do is you need to find somebody that you look up to, even whether they're in your field or not. Somebody that you could draw the personality aspects, that the character skills that will build you who you are. And, you know, if this is your goal is to be a doctor, go to Broward College and be a doctor, I think that you should squeeze out of that educational opportunity every ounce that you could get. Enjoy it because it's there. I've been through college for a long time, and it was a fantastic opportunity to live and really try to not limit yourself in what you can do. You know, the thing, somebody told me something one time, and I'm sure there's a quote about this, but, you know, the best things in life are the things worth fighting for. You know, if it's something that's easy, that's handed to you, it's not going to be nearly as meaningful to you as it would be if you did it yourself. And I say that putting myself through Broward College with my grades in high school, through putting myself through the University of Florida with my involvement at Broward College and taking out whatever loans I needed to bridge the divide, putting myself through medical school and the living expenses. So I have an amazing amount of appreciation for the opportunities that I've been given, and I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Oh, great. Well, we are so lucky to have you. And again, we hope maybe we can get you on campus, up close and personal, where students can actually see you in person and you can share your great story with them as well. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. This was a great interview. Thank you so much.